done Arms of the Man,
Mm-hmm.
and you're back to do Candida.
Yes, very much looking forward to doing that. I would be delighted to be invited back. It seems that Arms of the Man last year went down extremely well, which we're delighted about, of course. Back with a somewhat different play this year, Candida, written round about the same time, I think, as Arms of the Man, but very different in tone. A comedy still, a lovely romantic comedy about a love triangle, which is great. Of course, Arms of the Man was about a bit of a love triangle, but that has all the romantic things of Bulgaria and all the uniforms and the army and all that sort of thing, whereas Candida is a subtler play in a way, I think. It has many themes the themes are love and honesty, again, the same as with Arms of the Man. I think initially I'm reading it just as a romantic comedy and a love triangle, but I think beyond that there's the whole Bernard Shaw question of whether what love is. There's the love for religion, which Morel has. There's the love for money, which his father-in-law has, and there's the sort of the romantic love that Marchbanks thinks he has, the desperate need that his love for Candida that he imagines in his head is an absolute devotion, and the more calm but apparently at the beginning self-confident love that Morel has for Candida and feels she has for him. But as you say, as one rehearses it and goes into it more, there's also many different interpretations that could be put upon which love is the best, which is the most strong, which is the correct form of love. No form of love is correct, of course. They're all correct, but for an audience to come out of watching it with their interpretation of it, what they think it means, the actors and the company presenting it have to have a very clear idea in their heads of what they think the interpretation is, and which is the most important through line for the love interest in it. And that's something that really develops although one can go into it with an idea, develops in the course of rehearsal. For an audience to get a clear idea of their own interpretation of it, the performers have to be very clear about what they think the interpretation of it is, and that means they present a clear production, a clear performance for an audience to watch, a confident performance. But that doesn't mean to say that the audience will, or different members of the audience will get that will interpret it in the same way.
Do you think that Candida is a modern woman?
I think that she would like to think of herself as a modern woman, and she likes to think that she is the one in control of everything. The men are actually her. She knows exactly what the men are thinking, she thinks, but I suspect actually she's not quite as intuitive to the whole thing, how her husband is reacting, how the young man who is besotted with her is reacting. I think she more reacts to the moment as it is, rather than the overall thing, knowing or seeing in advance how they are going to react to things. So I think she blows with the wind a bit, and reacts as the moment takes her.
So Shaw's always got a message.
Yeah.
Several usually.
Yes. Well,
in your production, what do you think your message is that you're?
I think there's all the themes of religion and socialism. All mixed up, and love, religion, socialism, and love. What a mix! But I think it's the human character that I'm going to try and bring out within it all, rather than any great message about is religion the most important thing, or is socialism the most important thing? It's the relationships within it, I think, and how the characters develop through the play.
And you're being asked to do the performance outside.
Yes.
And you're also doing it in a theatre, and you're also doing it, well, a variety of different places.
Yes, exactly, yes. We're doing it at the Irish Cultural Centre, which is a first for us and is a delight to be doing. And then back to the Sarah Thorne Theatre, which has been a great Bernard Shaw supporter in Broadstairs. Those are similar sort of spaces in a way, but then of course the exciting challenge is Shaw's Corner, where we do it in the open air on that wonderful wide terrace, which is the great challenge of doing a play which is entirely set in a Victorian drawing room in the open air on a stage that's sort of, I don't know how many feet it is, I think it's about 20 yards across really, and very narrow. But so the challenge of doing that is great, but rewarding really. Lovely doing open air theatre, especially at Shaw's Corner, where you start the performance about 6:30, and you're in broad daylight, and then gradually the artificial lights take over, and you go into twilight, and it becomes, in a strange way, although it's this huge area and the audience sitting all with their picnics and hampers and everything out front, when the night draws in, it becomes a much more intimate experience in a way, and you really feel you're drawing the audience into the production. And luckily, we were talking about what sort of set, whether you do just have furniture, because the other two venues will be there's not the opportunity to have a massive set, so that will probably be largely furniture and stuff. But we were thinking it would be lovely to have the focal point, I think, of the play is the Titian picture of the Virgin, which is referred to again and again over the mantelpiece. And it would be lovely to create some sort of structure that we can use at Shaw's Corner and in the other venues that sort of takes in the mantelpiece, the picture, and all the seats around it, all the furniture. The furniture is quite prescriptive in Shaw's copious stage directions. There's the main desk and table that Morel works out with all his papers, and then Prosperpine's little table with her typewriter, and then all the focus round the fireplace, and the child's chair and the armchair, and it's getting all that in the right order. And I haven't quite decided what the order is, particularly at Shaw's Corner, because you'll have something there and something there and something right over there and something there, and trying to make that an intimate experience theatrically is a challenge, but a welcome challenge, I think.
You're going to have to make some cuts.
Yeah, I don't think anything needs. I don't think any of the progression or the shape of the thing needs cutting. It would be. I was taught once by another director that you can lose a lot of time, if you need to lose time, by tiny little internal cuts within speeches. I mean, just take little bits out here and there. I mean, my main concern with it is the shape of it. I mean, many plays written before about 1960 all have a 3-act form. With 2 intervals, and modern plays after that, you have 1 interval usually, and that's how a theatre evening is structured. So the challenge is how to find the right place for the interval. And in Candida, all the acts are pretty equal in length, so you don't want to have a really long first half and a very short second half, or a very short first half and a really long second half. So it's useful, as I have done with other plays, to find a point in the middle of the central act where you can have a really natural break and put the interval in.
What is it about Candida? What makes it so intriguing?
It is the traditional story of a love triangle, with Candida in the middle of it. And on the one side of her, there is her religious vicar husband, who is confident in Candida's love for him, and as I think Candida is confident in his love for her. But she has a protege who her husband has brought into the house as someone he wants to take care of and look after, and she has become almost like a mother figure to this young man who is the son of an earl. He's an Oscar Wilde type figure, a romantic, and she doesn't realise that he is becoming absolutely devoted to Candida, believes that he loves her desperately, and that only he ultimately can make her happy, and resents her love and for her husband and his love for her. Unbeknownst to Candida, he reveals this to the husband, and they become rivals, I suppose, in love for Candida. When she finds this out, she is presented, I don't think she's terribly happy about it, with the choice. Even her husband feels that he may have lost her, and makes her choose between him and the younger man. Now, which way will she jump? That's the thing you'd have to find out when you come and see the show. And make your decision of whether she's actually jumped the right way, and for what reason.